Okay, so this is going to be my review of Late Phases. Now, Late Phases is a kind of recent werewolf movie. It's kind of a recent, yeah, I think I should say recent werewolf film. The film was, I believe, is pretty much independent. It's from the same guys who, trying to think here of like what else they've been known for. I can't remember. But the group South by Southwest, it sounds really familiar. It's like I've heard that company before. But anyway, so this pretty much delves into this movie is, as you can see from this little image here, yeah, it's a werewolf movie. It is pretty much a werewolf film. Now, this is a very unique werewolf film, because it does have some of the common werewolf tropes, but I believe that this has been probably one of the best werewolf films in a while. Now, let me say this before I go any further. This film, if you're looking for like a bucket of blood, kind of gore and horror everywhere, you do get that. Let me say that. You do get that with Late Phases. But here's the thing. Here's the thing that goes along with that. Pretty much with this film is that there's a very good opener, and the ending of this film is just this balls to the wall, you know, werewolf mania everywhere, with a very it's a very touching ending too. But it's mostly a film about a guy who is getting ready for a werewolf film, because this does really it follows the whole month of this character named Ambrose, who is preparing himself to fight and kill this werewolf, and also figure out the identity of it. I also love how it kind of takes the same idea as Dusk Till Dawn, where it's not like, oh, are they really vampires or are they something else? It's like that here, where Ambrose is like, nah, it's a fucking werewolf. I got attacked by a fucking werewolf, okay. So yeah. The plot delves around it, like I said, a character named Ambrose, who is a blind Vietnam veteran who has been moved to, along with his seeing eye dog, by his son, to a little community, like a little retirement community, which he is not really fond of. And basically, what this means is that he's now going to be living on his own. But however, you know, the little community he lives in, once a month, all these horrible attacks happen. And when his new neighbor is attacked and killed in her house, along with his own seeing eye dog, he's actually more pissed off about the dog than he is about the neighbor being killed. But yeah, when both the dog and the neighbor are killed, he decides to set out and hunt down this werewolf, thinking that this is going to be another great war for him. And throughout this story, we follow him, and like I said, prepare for the next full moon, because this does do the whole thing of, yeah, once a month this happens, you know, the full moon rises and someone transforms. Now, I really don't want to spoil a lot about this film. There may be some minor spoilers here and there, but just some stuff I don't think will be a major spoiler for this film. The character of Ambrose, played by Nick Demancey, I think that's how you say his last name. He's really good in here. He also was in the vampire film Stakeland, which is also a really good film. That's a vampire apocalypse film. That's a lot of fun, and I find it kind of funny. First he's fighting vampires, now he's fighting werewolves. He gives off an amazing performance in this film, as playing this blind veteran who is just haunted by what he did in Vietnam. Because he basically, yeah, he pretty much, now I suddenly remember, by the way, of what South by Southwest is behind. The producers of this film were behind the first VHS film, and they were also behind Stakeland. When I said Stakeland, I was like, God damn it, I know the group behind this did something I watched, and I'm like, oh yeah, Stakeland, duh! Which is also funny, because like I said, Nick Demancey was also in that film. And like I said before, he gives off a fantastic performance in this film. You do follow him as he is this. He's not like, oh, I feel bad about what I did. He does, but he's not really showing it. He is clearly haunted by what goes on in this, what happened in his past, and what kind of led to his blindness. And he really does talk about it in length with probably the only friend he has in the film, which is a local preacher who just, you know, they share smokes together. This film doesn't have the biggest cast, but I think that's for the better. And what I also like about this film is that this really kind of talks about something that, you know, not a lot of films kind of really touch on when it comes to retirement community or the elderly. It talks about how much people don't give a shit about them. I hate to put it bluntly, but that's true. In this film, they put it right out there that usually, you know, and it's set, Ambrose says in this film, you know, you know, when someone says this is a nice little community where you come to live, and he's like, nah, you come here to die. And that's kind of the sad truth. With this is that, you know, and, you know, they've got a police group patrolling around here, and they, you know, they pretty much say, look, we have to respond to every little thing that happens, and then they usually forget about it because they have Alzheimer's. And, yeah, even Ambrose's own son, who was convinced by his wife to bring him here, is kind of like, yeah, whatever, Dad, you're just being crazy. So that's kind of the thing, is that Ambrose kind of feels like, yeah, I'm on my own here, and you know what? I'm totally fine with that. He's for being blind, he's actually really good at getting around on his own, and he's actually, like, he's badass in some scenes. Like, there's some moments where I was like, it's kind of like with Toph in Avatar, where you're like, oh yeah, I forgot you were blind. Where, he's kind of like it's kind of like if Matt Murdock decided to retire as Daredevil, this would probably be him, but probably without the werewolf hunting. Actually, it is the Marvel Universe, so I wouldn't put it past him. Speaking of the werewolf, let's actually talk about the werewolf designs. The werewolf designs, it's all pseudomation. It is all pseudomation. I really like that. I haven't really seen a lot of werewolf suits in films in a while. It's usually CGI. The last time they did it, and did it really good, was, of course, Dog Soldiers. That's still my favorite werewolf movie, but this is pretty good. The head design of the werewolves I'm not crazy about. It's kind of like a messed up pug. The body I'm really appreciative of, but the head motions are really good. And also, another thing I want to bring up here, and this is kind of like something I've been meaning to talk about with werewolf movies. You know, as much as I love films like Van Helsing and all that, I do not care for the whole ripping off the skin in werewolf transformations. Why can't we have like a werewolf transformation? Even if it's CGI, I would be cool with it. Like something like a transformation, like your whole body just transforms from one thing to another. What is the deal with the skin ripping? Because first off, that makes no sense, because you're are you just saying that all your organs and all that's been replaced, like you now just, your human skin that's it, that you're just skin and under it is a werewolf? What? And after that, you just peel it off, and I never really got it. Not because, like, oh, it's gross. And to be fair, during the transformation scene, it's actually done very well, because it's all done by, I think, just very little CGI, and a majority of it is practical effects. And yeah, it's done well, don't get me wrong, but I'm just not a fan of the whole the whole shedding skin thing. I'm just not a fan of it. I'm just more, maybe I'm just a werewolf traditionalist. That's a word I never thought I'd say in all my life. A werewolf traditionalist. Wonderful. But yeah, not a fan of the skin ripping. Other than that, this is a really good film of Ambrose, trying to reconnect with his son and, try to fight this monster. And when they throw down, it's a good throwdown. And yeah, this is a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. But again, this film, if you're looking for like tons of werewolf action everywhere, this is a very slow burn movie. The beginning act and the ending act are all really good, and you might figure out who the werewolf might be really quick. You might figure that out. But other than that, this is a pretty good film. This is a pretty enjoyable werewolf movie, in my opinion. So if you haven't seen it yet, check it out. Anyway, once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.